What religion does God like? If you're watching this channel, you're probably going to say Christianity. But James digs even deeper than that. What's James tell us about religion that God does and does not like? I'm Steve, and this is Looking Intently. I put out 3 short videos on the Bible each week. I'm going through James right now, and to catch any past videos, click this tag and make sure you get notified of all the new videos. Click the subscribe button and then that bell icon in the lower right there. Well, first we have to deal with this question: is Christianity a religion? You know, we've all heard the phrase, it's a relationship, not a religion. What do you think about that phrase? Is it? Is it not? Put that in the comments below. I'd love to read what you have to say. I certainly like the intention of that phrase. It's a relationship, not a religion, to contrast it with, the abuses of religion that we see all over. But you got to take into account what James says here in chapter 1, verse 26. If anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless. Religion that is pure and undefiled, though, before God the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unstained from the world. You read that, you've got to admit, religion is not an inherently bad word. Christianity, our relationship with God, is called a religion here. Well, it made me think, we use that word all the time. What's it mean? Religion, what's the definition? And so I went to dictionary.com, and it says there, it's a specific fundamental set of beliefs and practices generally agreed upon by a number of persons. Now, we can say all we want, Christianity's not a religion, but it is, according to that. It's a set of beliefs, it's a set of practices agreed upon by Christians. And so the word religion is not inherently bad. James is making the point here. A person's religion, what they're believing and doing, it can be worthless, or it can be pure and undefiled. And James describes both. And it's interesting, he has a specific and a general aspect of both. First of all, in verse 26, he says, if anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless. Well, the specific thing he talks about here is does not bridle his tongue. And that's foreshadowing. He's going to dwell on that more as he goes. But I think that the key here is, the tongue shows what's inside. And so we can say all we want, what we believe or what we do, and even some of the things we do that are good. But this shows what's on the inside, and saying that's a key element of religion. And then the next thing, it goes right along with that, he deceives his heart. The heart, it represents our commitment, our underlying, commitment to God, our direction, basic direction in life. Well, he talks about here that, about it, and that it can be deceived. That we can think, I'm doing what God wants. I have good religion. And no, it's not. And notice the person is doing things, because he says this person's religion is worthless. The things they're doing in the name of God are not what God wants. On the other hand, verse 27, religion that is pure and undefiled. In other words, what God wants. Because it says, before God the Father is this. And then the specific, to visit orphans and widows in their affliction. James was writing to Jewish Christians, and this is just so common in the Old Testament and in their culture. Again, these people who were at risk, who were disadvantaged in just the way life was at that time. Make sure you don't overlook those people. And certainly that continues today, an element of religion. Love the Lord your God. Love your neighbor as yourself. James is bringing that up. And then he says to keep oneself unstained from the world. Now, the world has so many things that it says, the ways it tries to conform us into its image. James, he doesn't say come out of the world. As Paul says, be in the world, not of the world. But he says you need to impact it. Don't let it impact you. I don't know if you'll hear anyone talk more about a relationship with God or a relationship with Christ more than me. You ask me, the message of the entire Bible overall, it's that God wants to have a relationship with every one of us. That's what it's all about. But that relationship includes what we believe and what we do. That's true of any relationship. With my wife, I believe she loves me. I believe I need to show my love to her, and so I do things as part of a relationship. And so the same thing is true. Think about it and apply this. As you measure your relationship with God, and I still like that word better than religion, but it's a religion. As you measure that, what do you use as your gauge? What do you look at? how is my relationship with God, how is my religion based on the things James says? The things he says not to do, the things he says to do. What marks a worthless religion and relationship? What marks a pure and undefiled one? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? On either side, well, I'm doing this and I need to stop. I'm not doing this and I need to start. What's the first thing that comes to mind that you need to change? And then get specific again, apply. All right, what am I going to do? When, where, how? And as always, one key element of our relationship with God is going to be read the good book like a good book.